Hello and welcome to 30 Days of Hoya. Today we will cover Hoya meredithii. Now this is the Hoya that you can see with beautiful veining on the leaves, and you can get a close-up here. This Hoya is native to Southeast Asia, and I would say in terms of temperature, this is a Hoya that really likes it warm. I read somewhere that you should not really go below 22 degrees of Celsius with this Hoya, which would be a bit over 70 degrees of Fahrenheit. And I certainly have noticed that it does grow much better when it gets more temperature. I actually had a bit of an issue with this Hoya when I first got it, and you can see on some of the lower leaves here that it does have a bit of spotting there, and that is probably because it was a bit too cold and then it got maybe some sort of a fungal disease, but a fungicide will sort this out for you. It did stop doing that. In terms of light, this will be probably similar to your Hoya caudata. When I first received it, it was much darker and maybe the veining was not so prominent, but now it's very light green color. Now, on one camera, it looks lighter than on the other one, but in person, it's also very light. It is a fairly slow grower for me. Again, I had this for 8 or 9 months, and I got this vine out of it with these 2 leaves. There was a tiny new leaf here, but it did fell off because I wasn't watering it enough, and I let it just go without water for way too long. So in terms of the watering, just be careful not to let it get too dry. This one I noticed likes it evenly moist, and I assume that is because the stem of this Hoya is very thin, and the leaves are quite big. And also the leaves are maybe thinner, similar to your Hoya caudata, so maybe there isn't so much water storage in this Hoya. In terms of mix, you can see here that this is a bark, perlite, cocoa peat, some ceramis, and then there is some leca as well. It is quite a light mix, and the chunks of bark are quite large. It dries out in, I would say, 4 to 5 days, and then I just give it a quick watering. In terms of humidity, this Hoya does prefer a bit higher humidity. I really noticed it does well with 60%. I haven't tried to give it more like 80 or something like that, but I am turning on my humidifier now, and we will see if I will get more growth from this Hoya. But I would just say this is a steady grower, a slow grower, but it's still something to enjoy because of the beautiful veining on the leaves. If you have the right temperature, I think you will be able to grow this Hoya. I would not necessarily recommend it for beginners. It's not that difficult to grow, but if it gets too cold and if you give it a bit more water, then you will notice that the leaves will go yellow, and then you might even get a bit of a fungal spotting like I had. It's also not a common Hoya that you can find in your local garden center. Again, I would possibly look for this online. Maybe some collectors that are around you can sell it to you, but you will definitely not find it in your local garden store. But nevertheless, I think this is quite worth it, and if you're not new to Hoyas, then I would definitely recommend it if you don't already have it, because this one will make a wonderful addition to your collection. This was Hoya meredithii, and thank you for watching.